All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sharing this next 35 minutes with us. It is all about giving you an opportunity to take your life to the next level. As mentioned, we are here to share information about a company that is looking for you, potentially, right? So very important for the next 35 minutes, just pay attention. All right, we live in a time where we are all distracted all the time. We're all guilty of it. We're multitasking to a point of not tasking anything at all. And we get to the end of the day and feel like we haven't achieved anything because we don't finish anything. So it's interesting times. So just for the next 35 minutes, switch off all distractions and get yourself into this Zoom. Why? It could be everything you've been looking for. All questions are addressed in the presentation, and anything that's left, we address afterwards. And my request is that you listen with some intention. What do I mean? Well, I'm going to share information, and you can listen to it from a place of, yeah, well, whatever. Or you can listen to it from a place of, I'm skeptical and negative and anything anyone ever says is true. Or you can listen to something from a place of, do you know what? If everything being shared here is real, how can I use this information to take my life to the next level? All right. And that's how I invite you to listen. It's a powerful way to listen and then see if you can find your way through. So income disclaimer, everything involves risk. We're all intelligent adults and we know that all opportunities involve risk. Life involves risk, right? It's the nature of the conversation. Our job is to evaluate risk, to mitigate risk, minimize it, squash it as much as possible, and then to maximize the reward, all right? And today's presentation has been designed so that it just gives you all of the facts straight to the point so you can make a powerful decision based on those facts and see how the risk has been minimized and the opportunity maximized. Hypertech Group is the company we want to tell you all about. It's the world's strongest blockchain alliance. That's not just a fancy statement or a sentence. It's a factual statement that is backed up over the coming slides. So Digital X is a company that was publicly listed on the Australian Stock Exchange a few years ago and was started by our owner who fought the authorities and the regulators and the licensing bodies to make that happen. Why? Because Digital X is in a space that back then was unrecognized, and that is the blockchain space. And authorities back then were really, really like not understanding it, not getting it, and resisted it because it was maybe a little bit too much for them to comprehend. Anyway, long story short, our owner won the battle to get it listed, and boom, here we are, the first ever publicly listed blockchain company. Historical event, done. Now, if you're new to blockchain and cryptocurrency, some of the words that I might use may be new to you, but don't let them phase you. They're words that will become familiar to the masses in the coming decade. That's a given. Just the nature of where the world is at right now, where we're heading, this industry is absolutely perfectly poised to go through explosive growth. And so that's what we're experiencing right now. Then we've got blockchainglobal.com. Our owner funded $300 million of his own money into 80 projects of his own, including brands. Again, if you're in the industry, you will have heard of them, such as NEM and Tron. NEM is $1 billion company. Tron is a $2 billion company. In fact, the companies are worth much more. That's just their net value on crypto. And today, Blockchain Global advises governments around the world and Fortune 500 companies on blockchain progress, a multi-billion-dollar group with offices all over the world. The third pillar of Hypertech Group is Collinstar Capital. And this company has been going for 5 years. Again, all three of these companies are publicly listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. Collinstar is the world's biggest VC company for blockchain projects. And our owner has invested over $400 million of his own money into over 300 projects in the world, including some of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges and some of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world. So huge multi-billion-dollar organization again. And then fourth pillar of Hypertech Group is Hypercash, our own cryptocurrency, much like Bitcoin. However, the difference here is this is the most advanced project in the blockchain industry to date. These guys have been working directly with IBM to solve one of the biggest problems in the world today that we are faced with, and that is quantum computers. Quantum computers have been invented and created and exist already. IBM owns over half of them in the world. And the problem is they can't roll them out on mass scale because they're so powerful that all security is useless. Any security we've developed and created to date in the world, even with supercomputers, is useless when it comes to quantum computers. So they've got to solve that security part first before they can roll it out. Otherwise, everything breaks down overnight. All right. So very exciting project. Our owners have been working with IBM for 4 years to solve that problem. Imagine, talk about way ahead of the curve. Most people have still not heard of quantum computers, and these guys have been working on solving the problem around that for 4 years. Anyway, that gives you a bit of an insight into what they're doing, what they're up to, and what their daily activities are. The owner that I've been talking about, Ryan Zhu, a self-made multi-billionaire in the crypto and blockchain space, and he started his journey in 2009. In fact, in 2008, he read a white paper online which talked about this new currency that was coming into the world called Bitcoin. He got very, very excited very quickly as he understood the power of what was being said and started mining Bitcoin in 2009. And subsequently today, he's the biggest cryptocurrency, one of the biggest cryptocurrency miners in the world. In fact, he's the first person to do large scale mining in 2014, 2015. He bought every machine that he could get his hands on in the world. He ended up buying 20% of the world's machinery and put it all under one roof. And then was born large scale mining. And he's just been at the front end of a lot of this industry's developments from the beginning. Anyway, Ryan funded Binance, believe it or not. Now, if you're familiar with the industry, you've heard of Binance. They're the biggest exchange on planet Earth. They transact billions of dollars a day, every day in cryptocurrency. And Ryan is a shareholder there. He funded them on day one. He's funded over 40 such exchanges, and he owns ZB.com, his own exchange as well. He also funded some of the biggest cryptocurrency success stories in the world. 12, in fact, out of the top 20 were funded by Ryan, including Ripple, if you've heard of that one, Monero, Tether, Ethereum, that's a huge one, and Bitcoin Cash. Ryan funded these companies on day dot when they needed money to deliver their idea into the world. And you can imagine the kind of returns that he's created over and over and over again. Nobody knows his net worth, but it's going to be insane, that's for sure. He owns Hypercash, Molecular of the Future, and HyperDAO, 3 cryptocurrencies that exist in the world. Hypercash and Molecular of the Future both are consistently found in the top 100 listing on coinmarketcap.com. And then, just as if all of that wasn't mind-blowing enough, he's listed several companies on stock exchanges globally, including Australia, Tokyo, and America, and sits as a majority shareholder in 5 publicly listed companies to date. His business partner and our chairman, Sam Lee. Sam Lee is also a very, very well-known personality in Australia. He's known as the Crown Prince of blockchain. And he's the go-to guy for CNN, BBC, Forbes, and Bloomberg when they want the latest update on blockchain development. He's spoken at the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, about the technology. And Blockchain Global services clients such as Amazon, Microsoft, and other Fortune 500 companies, as well as having government contracts under its belt as well. This is just one slide. There are lots like this. I've just reduced them all to give a maximum impact in the shortest amount of time. But you can see here the Australian Trade and Investment Commission, the Russian government-owned bank, Ambassador of Indonesia, the chairman of the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC of Montenegro, Geneva delegation, big fintech authorities of Bangkok, all welcoming blockchain centers. Again, another MOU signed with the Danish consulate. So the list goes on and on and on, right? I mean, they've pretty much got the whole world covered. They're so far ahead of the curve that now when governments want to know about blockchain, these guys are like on the directory's top of the list. All right, they're just that deep into this. That they've created the industry pretty much. I won't say single-handedly, but they are one of maybe about a dozen people in the world that are responsible for where blockchain is today. They've done everything to make sure that this industry has been accepted and embraced and respected by governments, authorities, and institutions globally. So in the last 6 years, concentrated effort, they've created this multi-billion-dollar blueprint. I want to ask you a question at this stage. Do you know of any other company owner that has gone from zero to this level of success and growth in their first 6 years? I don't. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I've studied entrepreneurship for decades. I'm fascinated by the world of business entrepreneurship. I love it. And I've never read about an owner who's gone from zero to not one, not two, not three, but multiple multi-billion-dollar companies in 6 years. It's unheard of. And a lot of that is to do with, yes, the owner is a visionary, of course, he's a genius, he's a legend, he's all of those things. But it's also to do with timing and trend. The biggest trend in the world right now in economics is blockchain. And within that trend, these guys are the dominant force. Ryan is the number one blockchain, if you like, entrepreneur to date. So if they're offering you a partnership, what do you say? They've got a goal. They want to do a $300 billion IPO. And to do that IPO, they need us. They need people. So they're in the process now of a customer acquisition program. And it's a really aggressive customer acquisition program, may I add. They are paying people to join. That's right. This company is paying the public to join the community. How about that? If you could get paid by joining this community, what would you say? See, they're on a mission. They want to do the biggest IPO in the world within the next few years. So now I want to introduce to you the fifth pillar of Hypertech Group. And together with us, we will take Hypertech Group to a $300 billion valuation in the next few years. All right. So this is a really unique opportunity. You've never been offered anything like this ever. How do I know that? Because I've been in the direct selling space for 24 years full time, and I've never seen anything as powerful as this. The biggest wealth transfer of our, not just our lifetime, of several lifetimes, of several generations is taking place right now. Trillions of dollars are pouring into this space over the next decade. Every expert, authority, government figure that knows anything about this space is agreeing finally that yes, this is where the future is. The future is DEFI, DeFi projects, decentralized finance. And so whenever any industry is decentralized, gazillions are made. I got into telecoms in the mid-90s when telecommunications was decentralized. And I set up my own company and I built that from my living room. And within a couple of years, we were doing like $100,000 a day, 3 million a month in turnover, 3 million plus a month in turnover within a couple of years from zero in my living room. Insane. So I know what it's like when you're in the middle of a deregulated situation. And if you're a first mover, which these guys are, the kind of fortunes that can be made. Now, if everyone's saying the next decade is going to be trillions of dollars pouring into this space, does it not make sense to you to partner up with the number one company in the space who's got massive, massive vision to continue their number one positioning? That's our opportunity. So here's a little bit about how this company makes money. They are completely vertically integrated into the industry. First of all, they started mining 11 years ago when that wasn't even a thing. People didn't even know what mining meant. They subsequently collected so much cryptocurrency, Bitcoin predominantly in the beginning and subsequently lots of other currencies, but they own so much stock of cryptocurrency. When they buy or sell, the markets move. So that's known as market makers. They don't chase the market. That's retail trading. The vast majority of people and big companies, huge companies with billions of dollars are still market chasers. They're analyzing graphs, they're analyzing information, they're reading information and news, and they're trying to guess what happens to the market. Fine, no problem at all. But wouldn't you rather be on the side of the people that decide what happens to the market? That's who these people are. They literally collect fortunes from the market every day by deciding the direction of certain cryptocurrencies. They're angel investors, which means that they catch companies early. Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the garage when Steve Jobs was in his parents' garage struggling to make ends meet with this huge vision and needed money and people lent him money and they became billionaires? How would you have liked to have been one of those people that could have lent him some money? What about Mark Zuckerberg in the dorm? He needed money, his friends gave it to him. Guess what they are today? Billionaires. Microsoft, Bill Gates, same stories. You can read all about them all over the net. People that were there at the right time, at the right place, that handed over a little bit of cash and became billionaires, and people that didn't hand over the cash didn't. Simple maths, really, isn't it? So this is an opportunity to partner with a company that does that. They catch companies early. They catch the Facebooks. They catch the Apples. They catch the Microsofts, but they catch them in the blockchain space, which is the fastest growing, uptrending, most exciting space in the world today when it comes to opportunity. When the rest of economics is collapsing, this industry is thriving. They launch projects, they stake projects, they list projects on exchanges, they own exchanges. And today, they're saying, hey, we know what we're doing. We've been doing it solidly, non-stop from day dot. And now you can join forces with us and help us to our next stage. We want to do a $300 billion IPO. Are you in? If you join us, we'll pay you. What? Really? Yes, exactly that. Are you ready? Hyperfund Global is a community building program. And this is the most